listening to Our Two Satoshis podcast with hosts Justin and Billy from CryptoBiz.com.
Have you checked out Yahoo Finance yet? Since Yahoo Finance, now you can buy apparently Bitcoin, Litecoin.
So, yeah, I actually went to the page, but I didn't see, it wasn't readily available. It wasn't like in my face where it was. You know what I mean? I went to like the cryptocurrencies page and I saw like the charts and everything, but I didn't see like huge call to action, buy the mofo right here.
I mean, that's huge. I was telling you the other day that, our buddy, our former coworker that used to work at Yahoo, I mean, everybody jokes on Yahoo, but they used to work there. He said the two things that keep Yahoo afloat are articles, and because people go there for news. I do myself at times, and Yahoo Finance. Like supposedly Yahoo Finance is actually like a market leader in that segment. But I couldn't find it either. What I was thinking was if you go to finance.yahoo.com and then there's a link at the top that says My Portfolio. If you click on that, it basically has like a screen there that says, welcome to Yahoo Portfolios, and shows you how you can buy and sell stocks. So I'm assuming if you've got an account there like that, that's where you can actually buy Bitcoin and Litecoin.
That makes sense.
Let me actually check. So I've got my spam email account that I use for everything is a Yahoo account. I don't ever log in. But if I know that I'm going to be getting newsletters and shit from you all the time, this is the email account that I use.
Right. For me, like I'm not going to use Yahoo to be buying crypto, but for me, like when I first heard that, it just kind of the big thing for me was that's going to be big for people that haven't bought yet because it's a familiar name supporting crypto. You know what I mean? It's like
Coinbase.
Exactly. It's a name that people are used to. It's like, oh, they're doing it? Okay.
And I'm not saying that, and disclaimer, I'm not saying nobody's not ever heard of Coinbase, but I'm saying if you're not in the crypto realm, you may not have heard of it.
Exactly. It's like a traditional stock market player.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I wonder what kind of a dent that's going to put in the profit margins of Coinbase when everybody else is opening up the ability to buy it.
Yeah, that's interesting. No. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to capture a different demographic. I think Coinbase is going to be more for either like the 1% or basically everybody at like 30 and under. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like different groups of people are going to use these different platforms.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing about Coinbase is that they make their money in other areas too. I mean, with GDAX, and then we may have talked about this before, and I don't know why I was drawing a blank on this the other day, but Coinbase owning earn.com. I didn't really realize, but I think I did, and it kind of was one of those things that jumped out of my brain for a bit there.
Well, there's so much to keep track of. It's like this is all we do is look at this stuff every day, all day, and it's just overwhelming.
Oh, it's totally.
Which is the cool part too. Like that's why I like it, because there's so much going. It's just all new. It's just impossible to keep track of everything.
So we didn't have a podcast last week. Kind of took a little break there. Kind of changed the way we're working here a little bit at CryptoFizz, where we're doing more. So actually, let's level set with our listeners there. So, when you and I came together and we created CryptoFizz a year and a half ago, our whole goal was that we wanted to create a website where we could keep the stuff that we learned about cryptocurrency in the market and, put it out there so that others could follow along as well and learn from us, right? I mean, is that how you would kind of characterize it, Billy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like in all honesty, I got into crypto, one, because I'm into tech, and new tech excites me, but if I'm being really honest, it was the money. Like, I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But of course, as I've grown and learned more about the tech, it's almost like a 60-40. And so CryptoFizz for me was a way to kind of solidify my own thought process when looking at these various investment opportunities. Like if I forced myself to research and write about this project before I bought it, I would know a lot more than just seeing it's up 20% today, let me jump in.
Hmm.
So
You have
for
that
me, that's kind of how
understanding
it
of it.
started. And yeah, exactly. It's just a forcing function. And if it helps somebody else out, that's even better.
You didn't want to
Um,
be one of those people on Facebook that says, should I buy Neo now?
yeah, it's like, fuck out of here. Like, you're
Yes,
asking for trouble.
take just some random person's comment that's in a
Do
Neo
it for sure.
group
Do it
that's a
now.
total Neo shill to tell you to buy Neo now.
Yeah.
Or what? I'm not picking on Neo, but Neo is just the first one that popped in mind because that's one of the groups that I do follow sometimes on Facebook. Um, so kind of to level set there, over the last year, we had some other websites reach out to us to try to partner with us where we could post some of their articles, cross post some of their articles.
Hmm.
And we started to do that. We formed some partnerships and started cross posting some of these articles. And then we also started, looking at the site as how many viewers are we getting? What can we do necessarily to bring in more traffic? And kind of got away in some of our articles from doing what we initially set out to do. And, you know, information about the market, how to do things, our learnings. We started creating some articles that were, more geared towards getting hits. And we've decided over the last couple of weeks that we're going back to our roots. Um, Billy, you can talk a little bit about the partnerships there, about how we kind of shut those down a little bit.
Yeah, I think we kind of started to water down what we were offering, and it wasn't, we were like me personally, I can speak to this. I was so worried about getting more content on the website, pumping it out day to day, than I was actually learning about what was even on our website. Like it was still like I would still read the stuff that we were putting out, but I didn't have the time to actually go out and research and browse around and be curious like I used to be. And like, what the hell's the point? Like,
Yep.
I want to actually go out and explore. That's the exciting thing, which I actually do have something to tell you and our listeners that I discovered
Uh-oh.
a new thing in crypto that I've never heard of before.
Okay.
Side note, breaking news, literally. So I actually have a couple nodes in Gentarium, which is a Gen competitor. They just launched their shared masternode service.
Oh, wow.
First in the industry. Um, I haven't tried it obviously because it literally just came out 30 seconds ago. I'm looking at their Discord right now.
Uh-oh.
So that's going to be fun to watch because Gen hasn't done theirs yet.
How much is
Um,
a Gentarium master node right now? GTM is
uh,
the
yeah,
logo.
so last time I checked, it was like $1,500. I actually bought in when it was like 2,100 a couple of days ago. It plummeted recently. Um, let's see. Yeah, so it's games are beginning. Um,
But isn't Gen waiting to do theirs until they get like
yeah, so
approval?
yeah. So I'm not sure. I think Gentarium, most of them are based in Russia. Um,
Which Russia has
so
no
it might be
laws.
different. Yeah, it might be different from a regulatory standpoint there. But I know Gen is really playing it safe. Yeah, so Gentarium right now, a master node's $1,300. The ROI is 509%.
Damn.
There's only
What's it trade on?
492 nodes.
What exchanges is it traded on?
It is on
Let me
Crypto
guess, Crypto
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of the cool things too. It's still very unknown. When they first came out, everybody was, especially people in Gen, including myself, were like, "Nah, it's just a Gen copycat." Um, but hey, that's going to happen, and competition's good.
Isn't it currently free to host on their platform right now?
Yeah, so that's their current tactic. It's not going to be free eventually. I think it's going to be like 750. And I think they're actually going to do discounts for cheaper nodes, which is also interesting and a different path to take. Um, But yeah, so right now it's free to put a coin on there and to host a coin or to host a masternode rather.
To put a coin on, it's free.
That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but last time I checked, it looked like it was free all around.
Okay.
I think they're just trying to get everybody on just to get their numbers up, and then eventually they're gonna be like, oh yeah, now you can pay me, which is kind of smart.
So that's
Um,
cool. So what's the other news that you hadn't seen before?
yeah, so I was actually just looking at masternodes in general, just curious where that space might lead. So I just did like a Google search, like the future of masternodes, and I came across an article. I want to say it was on Bitcoinist or Bitcoin.com. It was some, pretty big website. It was an article that talked about something called what was it, a service node. And basically what I gathered was uh, it's going to be essentially a master node, but it's going to be like the Uber of master nodes. So basically you could be like an independent master node service for various B2B services. So let's say a corporation wanted to have their own blockchain, but they wanted more stability, more nodes in their network. You could actually get like essentially KYC verified and background checks and all that jazz, um, and be essentially this independent master node that can help support these various businesses. So I was like, that's really interesting.
That is a cool. That's a cool concept. I mean,
Yeah, I've never heard of that. So I was like, okay,
these have to lead in other directions. I mean, this is
yeah,
we're just scratching the surface right now with what masternodes can actually do, and they're right now just a revenue generating machine, essentially.
exactly. Yeah. If I can find, I won't leave everybody hanging here. I'm gonna see if I can find it again. But
Well, if you find the article, just we'll post it under our podcast when we post the
oh yeah,
podcast up, so people can find it.
for sure.
That's a pretty cool concept, but I definitely want to check that out myself.
Yeah. So that's the Mastodon space is still very new. It's gonna be popping.
Is it going to be popping like Eminem's new album?
Yeah. Yeah, that's new too. Launched a new album, what, yesterday?
Yeah, yeah. It was yesterday, and then
Kamikaze.
yeah. Uh,
Isn't he like 50 now?
I don't
He's
know, but
like,
I saw a picture of his daughter recently, and I hope my wife's not listening to this right now, but like Haley that he raps about, and she's
uh-huh.
like a total smoke show now. It's
Is she
like,
really?
oh yeah, dude, look up like Haley Mathers, Hailie. Total smoke show, dude. Like it's
Holy moly. Yeah,
everybody else
she
that's
is.
listening is now Googling it. Yeah,
Damn it.
it's crazy. Um, uh, but yeah, so I don't know what is his actual age. I mean, we have Google here. Um,
I want to say he's like mid 40s.
45.
Like,
He
yep,
was born in 72.
damn.
72. Um,
It's weird because like I feel like he shouldn't be that angry anymore.
I mean, he's angry
Like,
about
dude,
everything.
why are you so pissed? Like, meditate, man. Calm out.
Oh,
Which, by
shit.
the way, are you using that? Like, I do that every day after my run.
No, I
Like three
haven't.
weeks straight now. Like, man, that shit works.
No, I need to just keep getting up and actually working out. My wife and I started this past week, and keeping it going for a week is a struggle. Um, but the reason that I want to go, let's go back to Eminem here. So the reason we mentioned him
Oh
is
yeah.
in one of his songs, he actually mentions Bitcoin, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's actually Royce the 5'9" that mentions it, but it's in one of those new songs on that album. I can't remember what the hell the song is called now.
So somebody was saying like this is where cryptocurrency is spreading to other segments. Now it's in rap music, and
Uh-huh.
I mean it's been in it before, but I mean this is a much you know one of the leading
It's a
artists out
mainstream.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't I don't know. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of anybody else, like a mainstream music person, talking about crypto like that.
other than 50 Cent, like we
Oh
mentioned in
yeah,
multiple
that's
podcasts, where
true.
he got $7 million
That's true.
in Bitcoin for one of his albums. Um,
Good point. Yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
um, but you, I mean, you've been promoting Grammatic for a while. You really
Yeah.
like Grammatic, right?
Yeah, I mean it's good music just to like space out to. Like it's not very lyric heavy. So whenever I'm working on something that requires reading or some actual thought, it's good to have that kind of like upbeat, um, not trance music, but it's like something you would hear maybe in Chipotle.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like upbeat, hip, house music. But he's also, I think he was the first like quote unquote big artist to jump onto Singular DTV,
Hmm.
which is a crypto platform for like geared towards artists. So he has his own token. So basically, right now he's funded by his community, so he's not having to do anything he doesn't want to. So which is
God,
pretty cool.
the world is going to change so much.
I love
No,
it.
no labels for, record artists. Probably, in the future there will be, I mean, there already is now on a smaller scale, but blockbuster movies that are created that are not funded by unnecessarily a studio.
Uh-huh. Shot with
I,
an iPhone. Like,
yeah, yeah. Netflix that is all the content is produced by, individuals rather than organizations. Uh,
hmm
the future is bright.
The future
What's
is
that?
now.
What's that? This wasn't really on our topic what we were going to talk about today, but we were talking about this the other day a little bit, Pokemon Go and how big Pokemon Go was. And Mad Digits, that handles marketing for CryptoFizz, he came across an app today called Aircoins. If you're one of the listeners out there, you should check this out. It's it's an app you can download. You can sign up for free in it, and it's just like Pokemon Go, basically, where you can walk around at the location that you're at and pick up coins that are airdrop coins. It's kind of a cool concept.
That is cool. Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet. I saw him talking about it in the channel. I think there's so much opportunity.
I
It,
downloaded it. I haven't created my account yet.
if anybody out there has ideas that they want us to build, holler at me. I just want to build something.
So you put out a pretty big article today.
God, I'm,
You
I'm
want to
still
kind of
tired from
elaborate
it.
on that?
Yeah, like that was, man, that was a workout in itself. So, um, I actually partnered up with Gencoin and the real Shill Gates. He's like a Twitter influencer in the crypto space. So basically, uh, we gave away a total of 15 Gen to three different people that essentially commented on our tweet saying, we asked the community to comment on how stocks and masternodes differ and are the same from like an investment standpoint. And so we took those results, those comments, and essentially researched them. And uh, so what I did was I put together like a 13-page document on all those answers. Man, like this thing is
Did
like
you
an
make an audiobook while you were at it?
encyclopedia
Like,
Britannica. Uh, yeah, audio version coming out soon. I mean, there's some good stuff in here. Like it was good because it taught me some stuff too, and it's some of the big takeaways are um, some of the familiar items like don't put all your eggs in one basket. Um, is there ways to diversify your portfolio across different uh, market caps, different sectors, different crypto plus traditional stock market? You know, a big thing that Jin pushes is that they don't want you to just put all your stuff into their product, which is awesome. They're trying to really educate you and say, yeah, we're a investment, we aren't the investment. So that's something that I can really get down with. So that's one of the reasons why I've partnered up with them on various things recently. So there's a lot there, but it's not that dense. Like it's 13 pages is a lot of content, but it's kind of broken down by title. So you can scroll, piece by piece, like one, like recurring income. And then it compares stocks with masternodes. Um, sweat equity.
So like let's unpack that one right there. So recurring income right there, comparing stocks with masternodes. I have not read the article yet. Like I said, I pulled it up, I scrolled through it real quick. That was released, 20 minutes before our
Uh-huh.
podcast. So do you talk about in there how like, stocks pay out dividends? Some stocks do. Can you kind
Right.
of elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. So actually, recurring income is one of the ones that stocks and masternodes are very similar. So stocks, you can buy, various stocks that are going to give you, this passive income. Some of them are monthly, some of them are quarterly, some of them are yearly. It's a really popular avenue for, some older people that don't have a job anymore and they're living off of this income from their, retirement fund. So they're going to want this very stable and expected return on their investment. Um, but when you think about that kind of investment in the stock market, what typically happens is, yeah, you're going to have a stable payment, but you're going to miss out on the upside. Like you're just to back up. So basically, those companies don't reinvest their profits to help grow the company more. They're going to give you the profits. So that's kind of that trade-off. Versus crypto, like masternodes, you're getting passive income from your rewards, but most projects that are worth anything, like gin, for example, that has like actual utility, that's going to keep growing. So your collateral is growing and the value of the rewards are also growing. So it's a double whammy. So that's kind of the trade-off between traditional stock passive income versus the masternode space.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes complete sense.
yeah, so it's cool. I mean, I would recommend getting both. And I actually have some traditional stock market passive income. Um, it's not hard. You can jump on a Robinhood, type in O, and that'll pay you out monthly.
Oh, what?
Uh, yeah, so the ticker is O,
Okay.
and basically it's a company that um, they have a lot of real estate holdings. So they have a lot of like CVS, uh, real estate. So they aren't going anywhere, and they pay out a monthly dividend. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
that's one thing I don't ever get with businesses like that. Like I worked in a restaurant business for a corporate restaurant, years ago, and it's like they pay to put up the building and everything. They own the fucking building. Oh, excuse me, they own the building, and but they don't own the piece of land it sits on. It's like
Yeah,
they rent the land.
that's yeah. Well, that's the story behind McDonald's too. You remember seeing that movie, Founder, The
I
Founder?
do, but I don't remember all the details about it.
So it
Yeah.
was the same scenario. Like all these people that had their own McDonald's locations, they owned the restaurant, but they didn't own the land it was on top of.
And didn't they
And
get
so
McDonald's
what?
start buying the land?
Yeah, so he made a McDonald's corporation that wasn't affiliated at all, and then bought the land from under them. So basically, he owned them. Like
Yeah.
you, sly mofo.
That's awesome.
That's
Hey.
the truth behind McDonald's, folks.
So, so circling back to your article here, is there anything in the 13 pages that you wrote and in your research that you personally learned? Like, what's one of the biggest things you learned while doing this?
Something that kind of reinforced what I've heard before, and I'm really taking to heart now, is just having a more patient, balanced approach. So I put a quote in here from Benjamin Graham, who was kind of like the grandfather or the father of like value investing, essentially who Warren Buffett looked up to, if that tells you anything. And so I'll just read this quote off real quick. It says, "The real money in investing will have to be made, as most of it has been in the past, not out of buying and selling, but out of owning and holding securities, receiving interest and dividends, and benefiting from their long-term increase in value." So it's like we're really talking about here is compounding interest.
Hmm.
So if you have the patience to do it, that's how you're going to win. And that's kind of a tactic that I put in another article about how to plan your investments like a crypto millionaire. Like one of the things that I've learned over the past 10 years is patience is like the secret weapon because nobody has it. You know, people want that quick buck, and they're going to try and jump in and out of these things. But if you have the foresight and the patience to know when to jump in and to hold it for a certain period, you're going to beat like 95% of the market. Like most day traders lose, like over 90% statistically don't make money long term.
That makes complete sense.
So that's the big takeaway. If you can learn patience and doing some due diligence before you jump in, you're set.
So, dude, that was a lot to cover on today's podcast. So just to kind of recap a little bit, you put out the article with Jen, and who was that? What was the influencer that you worked with?
The real Shill Gates.
Okay. The real Shill Gates. So that'll be linked below the podcast. You all should check that out. Talked a little bit about masternodes, Yahoo Finance, adding Bitcoin, Litecoin payments, and then some various other things that we talked about, Aircoins, augmented reality,
service nodes, whatever the hell they are.
Exactly. And so that's a lot for the podcast today. We are going back to our roots here at CryptoFizz, putting out content that people will help others, and that's going to be our sole focus going forward. So if you want to, if you're into the stuff that we're into, keep checking out the site. And if you have any recommendations, let us know. Anything else you want to cover today, Billy?
Just a reminder, diversify your investments. And actually one of our Discord members was asking for a recommendation for what cheap masternode to get. And I, normally you get what you pay for. So the cheaper they are, there's probably a reason for that. But I actually just bought one that I wasn't going to buy for a while. Just bought a Pollen masternode for like $400. They're kind of in the winter is here moment, and they're pivoting a little bit. So the risk reward is pretty big. I think they've bottomed out and they're willing to fight to make it in the space. So if I was going to pick one that was under $1,000, that would probably be it. They have a working product. Anyways, that's just my 2 Satoshis. Not advice, not a financial advisor.
And I'll be on the complete opposite side of that. I had an Apollo masternode and I sold out of it because they did a coin swap a while ago, and it wasn't really like the greatest process for the coin swap, so that put a bad taste in my mouth. But hey, Billy and I can vote and we can disagree.
That's right. We'll see. Check back next week to see who wins.
At this point now, as cheap as it is, though, maybe it's not a bad step. But yeah, cool. So thanks for listening to the podcast today. We'll catch you guys later.
Later, guys.